For me, when I hear Web 2.0, I think of a suite of user technologies that have a couple of characteristics. They tend to be very easy to use. They tend not to impose any structure on their users, or not to put a lot of rules in place in advance. And they tend to be platforms where a community comes together and content accumulates over time. So a blogosphere, or a collection of blogs, is clearly Web 2.0. A wiki, which is a web page where anyone can easily contribute content or edit anyone else's content. It's clearly a Web 2.0 technology. Tags, which are just simple one-word descriptions that remind you of what content is about, are great Web 2.0 technologies. So that's kind of the grab bag of technologies that I think of when I think of Web 2.0. And Enterprise 2.0 for me is the process of using those same tools inside enterprises.
I know you've been talking a lot about Enterprise 2.0 recently, but in general, what is the focus of your research over the last few years?
All of my work is about the impact that information technology is having on companies, how they perform and how they compete. And I spent a lot of time studying ERP systems and enterprise workflow, supply chain, CRM, all of these technologies that basically dictate exactly how people are going to execute a business process. And those are powerful and really valuable technologies. But a couple years back, I started to ask myself, is this the only interesting story about information technology within companies? And exactly as I was asking myself that question, this whole phenomenon of Web 2.0 appeared. And when I educated myself a bit about it, I saw that it had huge relevance inside companies because it did just about the opposite of the technologies that I'd been studying. It did not impose anything on users. It instead gave them very, very free environments to work in and let structure emerge over time. And that's the phenomenon I've been really interested in for the past year and a half.
You are actually a very well-recognized spokesperson for Enterprise 2.0. It'll be, I think, very useful for our audience to really understand what is Enterprise 2.0. A term they've been more familiar with is Web 2.0. So what's the relationship?
For me, Enterprise 2.0 is the use of free-form social software platforms inside organizations. And there are a few things in that definition that are important. The first is that it's a definition about how software gets used, not how it gets developed, not whether it is software as a service or whether it's sitting on a server inside the organization. Again, these are important trends, but they're not as important for most general managers as just what is software being used for inside the organization. And I want to concentrate as well on software inside companies, not on the broad public internet. So that's one of the distinctions between Web 2.0 and Enterprise 2.0. And then the middle part of that definition is emergent social software platforms, which are online communities where people come to interact with each other and where structure emerges over time.